Hi everyone, this is Syrian Girl. I need to speak to you about censorship and what your Western governments have been keeping from you. As I may have told you in our last video, YouTube has been trying to censor me and there are two flags against my channel's name now. But also, PressTV, which is an Iranian satellite station, has been censored in many Western countries. Their satellite feeds are being blocked. So the question is, why are these Western nations who are preaching democracy and free speech to other countries and actually creating wars on the basis of these principles are themselves sabotaging those principles? Now, you or I might not agree with everything that Press TV, CNN, or Al Jazeera have to say. But I would defend with my life their right to say it. I would never agree to censorship of any media or any person. I am a firm believer in freedom of speech. And I grew up in a place, Syria, under a dictatorship where freedom of speech was not really present. We were restricted, and I was taught that the walls have ears. If it was really a revolution for democracy and free speech in Syria, then I would have been behind it. But it is blatantly a forced revolution by the West, a conspiracy not to create a democracy, but to impose a new world order controlled Wahhabist Sharia law government that's going to be even more repressive. I implore you, people of the West who still have some but not complete freedom of speech, to stand up for your rights, to stand up for this freedom, because it is your rising up that is the hope of the world. Press TV has a petition on their website, and hopefully if enough people sign it, it will give the powers that be the message that enough people are waking up to what they are doing, and hopefully then they'll be afraid of the consequences of their actions. I'm here with Press TV News Director, Mr. Hamid Imadi. And Mr. Imadi, could you please tell us what's happening? I understand you're about to be censored off the Western television.
Thank you very much, Mimi, for having me on your video. We've already faced it. We've been taken off the air in a couple of countries. I'll explain how. It was January 2012. The British media regulatory body, Ofcom, took Press TV off the air. They cited administrative errors in our application form as the reason. What Ofcom did came under attack by a lot of media activists. They called this a violation of freedom of expression. Still, Ofcom went ahead with the plan. We took this legal route. We talked to them. We used our legal team to explain to them that this is not right. They didn't listen to us. They didn't listen to media activists, and they took Press TV off the air. Everything started with that, and then after that, in April 2012, the German media regulatory body, BLM, they took us off the air in Germany off the Cesar platform. We took to court the issue. The judges in Germany, they ruled in favor of Press TV 2 times. But the BLM media, the tool of the German government, took the issue to a federal court, and the federal court ruled against Press TV, so they took us off the air. And then comes this Eutelsat, the French satellite company, Eutelsat, whose CEO is a French Israeli. His name is Michel de Rosen. He took us off the air in several places, and he wrote letters to several European satellite companies and asked them to take us off the air. In Asia Sat tried to take us off the air in Pakistan, Afghanistan, and these countries where Press TV has a lot of viewers. So this is an all-out war, an unprecedented war against a media channel. Never seen such a thing in the history of television. There's this huge campaign led by the Israeli national, Michel de Rosen of Eutelsat, against Press TV and against other Iranian TV channels. That shows the extent to which Iranian TV channels have been successful in bringing to light the realities on the ground in the Middle East region, as well as in the US and in Europe. We believe that the fact that the Israeli man in charge of Eutelsat is attacking Press TV is Press TV's coverage of the Gaza war, the recent Gaza war, as well as the one at the turn of 2008 and 2009. Press TV was there with a lot of correspondence, showing the realities on the ground, trying to give first-hand information to the viewers. When Iranian missiles hit the heart of Israel, fired from Gaza, but they were made in Iran, the Israelis were becoming very much angry, and they ordered this guy, Michel de Rosen of Eutelsat, to take Iranian channels off the air. Next time Israel wants to attack Gaza and Lebanon, then there's no Press TV around to cover it. But they are sadly mistaken. Press TV is very much active, is active on the internet. Its Press TV has other satellites to broadcast it, so Eutelsat cannot do any harm to Press TV. And then comes this Hispasat in Spain. Eutelsat writes a letter to Hispasat and asks them to take Press TV off the air. The American Jewish Committee, the Israeli lobby in the US, has praised Eutelsat and Hispasat for taking Iranian channels off the air, and it's a kind of a web of Israeli, European, and American companies that are trying somehow to restrict Press TV and Hispan TV and Al Alam, the Arabic language TV aired from Iran. And they're scared of Iranian TV channels because the Iranian TV channels say something that the mainstream media tends to ignore. For instance, in Syria, Iranian TV channels are there. You know, our correspondent got killed in Syria. His name is Maya Nasser. You know, he was killed, assassinated by insurgents. So they're not only they're trying to attack us using their satellite companies, they even kill our correspondents. You know, they attack our people. In London, they attacked our correspondent. They broke our cameras, and this is against free speech. This is against all international norms. And let me give you this: the right to freedom of expression is recognized as a human right under Article 19 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and recognized international human rights law. They are trying somehow to prevent Iranian channels from expressing themselves. So this is against human rights, and this needs to be condemned by all media activists all around the world because they could be next.
Well, actually, I want to ask you a few questions, if you could. I know you touched on this. I know you mentioned that you've been reporting on Syria and you report on Gaza, but I want to know, what is the main message of Press TV that these countries are afraid of their people hearing? What is the message?
Press TV says to the world that it's not the Palestinians, it's the Israelis. That Israel is the threat. Even Israel is a threat to America, to the United States of America, to your videos, American audience. America is the biggest prison in the world, and Israel is the guard there. Okay, is the prison guard. Americans are being held hostage by Israel. Israel is America's top enemy. That's what the American people need to understand. They work at the end of the month. Their salaries go to Israel, go to fund Israeli crimes against humanity. Israel kills Palestinians on the ground. Israel is violating human rights, and American people are paying for that. The American people are going to work. You know, they work for 30 days or 20 days a month, and then their salary, part of the salary, go to Israel. So I mean, and since 1967, the USS Liberty came under attack by Israelis. Israelis killed a lot of Americans. The Americans didn't do anything about it. Even the U.S. government didn't want to investigate that matter. So Israelis killed Americans, take the money, and Americans don't say anything. America is being held hostage by Israel. And in Syria, the same situation. The U.S. And Israel, they're helping the insurgents and consider Syria as a threat to Israel. And that's why they have created this fake protest action in Syria. Yes, there are a lot of Syrians who want real democracy. They want freedom of speech. They want a democratic government. And that's absolutely true. There are many Syrians who want that. But that doesn't mean that the Americans and the Israelis and the French and the Brits have to support some natural-born killers in Syria who are killing innocent civilians on a daily basis and move Syria towards total chaos and destroy a civilization once called Syria. So, I mean, what I'm trying to say is that Israel and the United States and some European countries, they do not want to see the message being relayed by PressTV and the likes of PressTV. So because they can't come up with a counter argument, they want to eradicate PressTV from the face of the earth. They're trying somehow to prevent viewers from accessing PressTV, and that's their goal. They're not gonna, today's the age of information. They can't do it. They simply can't do it. We come up with our own ideas. We got some smart ideas.
Well, you mentioned Syria, and I think that if the insurgency was actually about democracy, then maybe it would have a lot of supporters, but that's not the case. The insurgency is about imposing Sharia law, and this attempt at censoring PressTV just goes to show you that the powers that be don't really care about democracy. This whole thing is not about democracy, and I know that in the US people in their constitution are valuing their right to freedom of speech. They are very strong about this, and that's very admirable. My question to you is, which countries is this being targeted at? Which countries cannot access PressTV? And also, what can we do about it?
Listen, all the countries can access PressTV because PressTV is accessible on the internet. We have put it on the internet live. You can watch PressTV live on the internet. So if they attack us in a given country, we find some other ways of doing it. We believe that Israel is behind all this, and Israel is very much active in Syria today. Just consider Al Qaeda, which is very much active in Syria today, Jabhat al-Nusra and these criminal groups. These groups are very much linked to Israel, we believe, because if Al Qaeda wasn't in favor of Israel and wasn't an ally of Israel, it would definitely attack Israel, because Al Qaeda says that it's an Islamist organization and it wants to protect the rights of Muslims. But Israel is the #1 violator of Muslim rights. It's killing Palestinians. It's occupied their land. It's occupied Arab land and Muslim land, and it's killed Palestinian women and children. So why is it Al Qaeda has never attacked Israel? There is not even one instance of Al Qaeda doing anything against Israel's interests. Al Qaeda never talks about Israel. It doesn't talk about Israel. It doesn't attack Israel. It doesn't do anything about Israel. It doesn't do anything against Israel. Al Qaeda has totally forgotten about Israel. Okay, so that means Al Qaeda and Israel are one and the same. Let me put it one more time. Al Qaeda and Israel are one and the same. They're not two separate entities. And Israel is behind Al Qaeda. Saudi Arabia is playing around, just providing some money, okay, because the Saudi monarchy, a bunch of very old people, they can't take care of themselves, let alone their country's affairs and other countries' affairs. So, I mean, that's the situation. Israel is behind Al Qaeda in Syria. Israel wants to create chaos in Syria, and through that chaos in Syria, it wants to cause chaos in the whole Middle East region, and that would somehow alleviate Israel's concerns about the prospect of it being eliminated from the face of the earth.
Well, to support that, Israeli Mossad cell was discovered in Palestine trying to create an Al-Qaeda cell. And we know that this Al-Qaeda has connections back to the CIA when it was created in Afghanistan. So I suppose I would like to ask you, you mentioned that there's a petition that people can, through this petition, drive their point across that they will not have their world closed up and they will not be imprisoned, their minds will not be imprisoned, and they will not accept this censorship. Can you explain about that?
Sure. Yeah, please. We have this petition on PressTV website, PressTV.com. Please go to the petition, to the PressTV.com petition, Stop the War on Free Speech, and sign it. And by signing that, you show to the world that you're not staying silent. You are just expressing yourself, that freedom of speech needs to be respected.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hamid Imadi. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Thank you very much, Mimi. Thank you for having me on your video.
Thanks a lot.